Yeah, we had just gotten Aisler, Final Fantasy everything. The game has been remade a gazillion times. uh, but yeah, we just got Rydia back. We set everybody up for... well, we kind of set people up. I keep hitting the left bumpers to skip through party members as though it's actually going to work, but this is before they started doing stuff like that. Yeah, we had everybody geared up, and we're about to head into the Tower of Babil. And yeah, we had Kane with the Dwarf Axe to test if it was actually a back-range weapon, and it is, but it's probably going to be better to give him a spear to help out his normal stats and jumping and everything. Right. So we got these guys. So I don't know how you all have... we tend to talk a lot about, when I'm playing Final Fantasy IV, about the experiences that those of us, would play the game as kids, or at least younger, had with it. And this is a part of the... basically, the thing with the Final Fantasy II or IV is that it was balanced around the gradual attrition model of old school JRPGs. It's like, hey, you will take care of the enemies, but you'll always take a little bit of damage working your way through there. And you balance out the damage you do with the damage you take, and the healing you do, and the MP and everything. And it was never quite as refined as it was in... I should have jumped on the marionette there. It was never quite as refined as it was in the Dragon Quest games. I mean, they had that stuff down to a science. And there's a big part of me that wants to play or stream Dragon Quest VIII, or 3 for that matter, because those are some of my favorite JRPGs. Slur, however, has only completed 1 and 7. Because the franchise that wonderful in retrospect, because it had a lot of good ideas, had some really bad precedents in the genre. Yeah, Final Fantasy was a juggernaut in JRPGs until they ran it into the ground, trying to follow the money on the big budget CG stuff, to the point where people keep pointing out that, like in Final Fantasy 13, you had characters that popped in and out of that were killed off and brought back in the story because the cutscenes were done differently from the script. And then you had stuff like Final Fantasy VII, which was basically, at the risk of being a little nerdy, while we talk about our video game, a retro video game here, I tend to think of Final Fantasy VII as two video games, or two video games really, as Evangelion was to cartoons. It just basically got an entire generation of fans of the genre in question obsessed with it, and thinking and kind of viewing everything through the prism of that experience. And the 7, you kept having of course, part of the problem with 7 was people learned the wrong lessons from it. It's not nearly as dark as Advent Children kind of canonized it as. But there's a lot of stuff in there, and okay, I got game face on. This is really, really bad. I think I'm actually going to have everybody cover up and throw Shiva at this if Rydia survives. Cover Rydia, have Rosa heal her, because I got to keep her safe from... Actually, I may not have time for Rosa to heal. Okay. Yeah, the thing I was worried about is if he didn't get cured, there was a very real chance... Okay, let me... Let's see, that's... Cure 2 is going to cure her for... You know what, this is a great time. Let's do that. But yeah, the Flame Dogs can actually have a full party. I think Blaze is the move. There we go. Ooh. Freaking hot dogs. I'm hungry. Yeah, and to finish my thoughts, Laura mentions the ultimate sin. JRPGs learned from 7 was ideally friendship solves all forms of conflict. Depiction of transition from conflict to unity is stilted, unhealthy thinking in the narrative. The stakes are always the world, while the world is a stage for us, nothing more. Yeah, the problem with that aspect of it, I agree with you on the first part of it. Given the rise of, and speaking of anime and everything, the rise of One Piece, I kind of call it the Nakamification of Japanese storytelling. But yeah, the whole like friendship thing is its own, obnoxiousness. But the problem with that one is like you having the stakes be the world is, we want ice for that one, is you actually get people that have, and it's not just Final Fantasy, you get people that kind of expect, the escalation of threat, and if you ultimately don't do something gigantic, like, save the world and everything, then there's basically no meaning to the story. Like I was seeing complaints about Ant-Man to the extent of, the stakes are too small compared to all these other superhero movies, and it's like that. It's stupid. If you escalate things, to that extent, you eventually have this meaningless set piece after meaningless set piece. If the world is always in danger, the world is never in danger. You realize it's fake. But yeah, that is a problem that goes very much beyond just Final Fantasy. It's like, heck, from you talk about 7, Final Fantasy 1 has you save existence, like you save time. That was Kane's Spirit. We'll have to. They tend to have dungeons coded by resistance, as I recall. Like a lot of the enemies here are fire based. He's weak to ice, so we'll do that. Actually, I think they're all weak to ice. Those are turtles. Keen agrees. So they push just the world. Everything pushes you a world-ending threat. Let's see. Actually, we'll do Dancing Dagger and have. I think I'm just going to switch Rosa to her ice arrows and have her chip in on this stuff. Exactly, like Lorax said, they want Galactus to bust in and try to eat the world, and Ant-Man stop him. There was nowhere to escalate it to, but they still insisted on it doing that. Slur wants to use 2 examples of which games it did stakes well, one he loves and one he hates. Lay it on us, Slur. You have the floor. The floor. There's a thought. Yeah, Zane says Mystic Quest. I like Mystic Quest. Yeah, I will be the first in line to defend that one. Final Fantasy USA, hoo-ah. Yeah, so Cane Jump. Slur repping Trails in the Sky for making stakes personal, very much internal politics further along the line, personal grudges, idea of having saving a single person from a terrible fate. I haven't played those games, obviously, but I read the LPs of them and was definitely impressed. I liked it. Actually, you're mentioning Joshua there, and I actually didn't like what they did with him, to be honest. I thought it was kind of... there we go. You want non-elemental stuff on the Chimeras because they resist everything. You have no idea why that is, but... Also, I think if I... No, let's do that. Yeah, Mystic Quest was had some of the best music, right? Oh, Yang had 1 HP. How did I not even notice that? Let's heal him. Undertale made stakes more or less about the world taking on you, rather than taking on the world more or less about you. You only sole venture of escaping from the threats around you. That's if you do the pacifist version, right? Oh, wait a minute. I need to have Cane Jump on him. So we'll do that and get ready to pound the next Chimera, assuming it survives. If I'm making... The Slur finds that making those personal stakes is better than making something grand. The grandiose world is sparse. For yourself, it is dense. Interesting. Kind of a philosophical way of putting it. A pacifist and genocide run, right? That's another one where it's I just could not get into Undertale at all. And despite one of my friends being one of the guys really big into it, and I don't mean Zane, I mean one of my real life friends. And it's I'm not going to be a hipster and say it's bad because it's popular, but it just kind of felt like it wasn't for me. That being said, I will forever defend Toby is the guy's name, right? Toby Fox, I think. Forever defend him on. Oh, cool. I think you can actually get the lizards to drop a sword which inflicts petrify too, which you only get from enemy drops. You know what? I think this calls for another diamond dusting. But yeah, forever defend that Toby basically making the game his own vision, his own way, and everything, taking 3 years to do it by hand. That is really, really impressive. And the fact that he made a bucket load of money on it is just icing on the cake. Yep, Zayam, we're talking about you. No, if you remember, if you all remember Ven, who's in the chat sometimes, so that he's the guy who's a really big fan of it. Welcome back, Ben. Did you bring some ice cream for me? No. I couldn't eat it on chat anyway. It would just gum up my mouth too much. Gum up? Anyway, I need to keep better track of the HP on my dudes here. It's 1, 2... Actually, Rosa heals a lot. I think that should be good. Maybe 1 for Cecil. Okay. Yeah, I'm not one of the types that dislikes things because they're popular, but I will be much more skeptical of things if they're popular. I think it's a fair way of putting it. Speaking of, I know Zane's been into Mighty Number 9 and Slur plays a lot of games, but have you all played any indie games recently that kind of stand out to you? I know Drakenel keeps up on those too. But I think he bailed after the Darkest Dungeoneering. Lizards. Is this the spot where they can turn into eggs? Or ooh, right, I want that. Cat Claw, I believe, is Yang's best claw by the numbers. And gives us some bonus stats across the board, I believe. So we need to pick that up on our way back out. Yeah, we need to pick this up too. Phoenix down. And I think this one leads to, yeah, this is a separate room. Another bow. I guess it's supposed to be like a composite bow or something. One dedicated for archers. Let's also give her the rest of her ice arrows, too. It's definitely the dungeon for them. I say having fired 1 so far. Okay. Here we go, yeah, the silly egg enemies. You can kill them in 1 hit with certain things, or you can like hit them with 1 thing and they'll hatch. How about we everybody do their thing and then let the ATB charge back up. Let's see what's inside. Lizard. There could be some weird stuff in there. But yeah, I have. Yeah, there's a big part of me that wants to promote. I've had an idea of thinking. I've had an idea of playing, going back to Dragon Quest, the Dragon Quest games, of playing Dragon Quest 3 with like a not a roguelike, but more of an Iron Man kind of run, where if you lose characters, you have to go replace them, and that could be a lot of fun. But you also have to, you'd have to level them back up, and there's no easy way of doing that in that game. So, it could be fun. I haven't played it in a while, and that'd be a good wrinkle to it. But, but yeah, going back a little bit, they were talking about like Dragon Quest 1 and 2, kind of burning on the entire series with those two. And I did like Dragon Quest 1. It's kind of the old school RPG. Kill the dragon, save the princess. Kind of have very few clues to guide you as you walk around the world and stuff like that. I guess I do like at the very end of it how you actually get a chance to like just play through the entire game and go, you know what, I'm actually going to throw in with the villain. And of course, you talk about how Final Fantasy became became a big, a big mover and shaker in the genre. The Dragon Quest was insane in Japan. Oh, straight up killed that thing. I'm guessing that was probably another... Yeah, it was another lizard. You can tell by the reward you get from it. Alright. I'm wondering if these are the... Because I know the other, I think they're called Chimera Brains in this one. I have no idea if that's a mistranslation or what. But I'm thinking... Those are the ones that absorb every element. So I'm thinking it might be safe to use normal elemental stuff on these guys. Let's find out. Yeah, that's a little bit worse than usual. Yeah. Let's try Ancient Dagger. Okay. Hey, John. Slur, yeah, I'm in the same boat as Slur. Wish I had a PS4. There's some interesting RPGs coming out for it, but unfortunately cannot afford. What's on your radar? I'm still kind of pining for the Bloodborne Fjords. Ben and I have been. I think we were talking about Broborn from back when he was doing. Oh, can I use magic? What am I even doing? About back when we were playing Final Fantasy II or Final Fantasy II. Oh dear, I am my brain is just all over the place tonight. But Dark Souls 2. And that was last year, about a little after this time. How goes the Fiesta? John, this is a Final Fantasy game with a V in the title, but it is not the one you're thinking of. I think you could say that the bot picked my classes. Yeah. I didn't think Paladin was even in Final Fantasy V. These things are kind of a joke. So will one shot do it? No, not quite. And that should do it. Yep. So we're just gonna let Kane do his thing. Who needs healing? He needs healing. Alright. Trails 3 is going to be PS4 exclusive. Gotcha. And Vita RPG is also on PS4, which is better. Odin Sphere Life-Trazer? How would the German be Life-Racer? Yeah. I always try to pronounce, foreign words, or international words correctly. Zane still hopes FF15's Ultimate Edition, good one on eBay, could afford a PS4, okay. This is the one without the cool pirate chick, but it does have Yang, and Yang is the man. You are correct on every account there, John. Of course, I guess if I'm sure you know the story in FF4, so don't get too used to our poor burly karate man. Oh, another lizard. I think they're all lizards. This part of the dungeon. Yup. Yeah. I don't remember if you get the rewards for the monster they are or the ones that they. After they hatch. I guess I might as well have Rydia hit them and find out. It's inside the egg. Yeah, whenever you're able to code pick the weapons against the resistance to get those one-shots, can't go wrong with that. Matter of fact, I think we might be able to sweep the board if Rosa comes through on the damage on those ice arrows. Come on, Rosa, justify putting a bow instead of a staff in your hands. You are the white mage every other white mage wished they could be. Okay, alright, good enough. Yang goes out like a G, though, yeah. Yeah, we'll have time to talk about it when we get to the final scene with Yang in question, but it is amazing. Yes, yeah, the twins have already had their big event. They petrified themselves to stop the walls from closing in on us in Baron Castle. This game where everyone gets a sacrifice my life to save yours, fake out, not death, and comes back. Kind of. It's like we talked about with Atella death last time. That the game actually kind of makes it. And this is something that I imagine was more effective for the audience that played Final Fantasy II. where when you lose people, they are stone dead in 2, and you lose everybody pretty much. Whoa, I'm full. Okay. Okay. So exchange. Okay, and exchange that with... How do I exchange? Okay. Ah, okay. Oh, you cancel out so you can put something else in here. And okay. Well, wait a minute. Why? I can take that. I have room. What? I must have gotten a button backwards in there and I forgot about it. Anyway, let's go equip that stuff. I'll wait until we had the shield and the armor, so we'd be able to take care of that. So we're going to put the armor on Cecil and the shield on Kane. And that way we should have pretty much all of our bases covered elementally. Alright. But yeah, it's like, the first couple characters, there's really no indication they come back. Then you start seeing Edward again, you see Rydia again, you see Yang again, and then you lose Tella, and it's like, is it going to be another bait and switch on him, or is he actually dead? And it turns out, he is actually he's gone. So after Tella and Sid especially, I think Sid is a dividing line before it starts to get a little silly. But that'll be a couple hours later in the game. Do I want to go out of my way to grab that chest? I don't even remember what's in it. I think it's full of cash, if I remember right, which I'm always down with. Jeez, okay. Just do like a quarter or a third of Yang's health, and oh, it was a quarter. Okay. Right. Okay, this is actually pretty bad. Change. And let's have... okay, this is getting a little ridiculous. Cure him. And then we'll have Rosa cure the team. Man, that was some ATB shenanigans there. Just spamming that on me. Total Secret of Mana Fortress tile set. You see something repeatedly in 6 too. Could be. I haven't played 6 in forever. Let's see. 1, 2. I think that's... Yeah, I think it's a little more efficient to give everybody a Cure 1 across the board than a Cure 2, I think. In any case, Rose has enough MP, you don't have to worry about it too much. And I've never played the Secret of Mana, Seiken Densetsu, I think, was the series. I've never actually played any of those. Which I have been informed I am definitely missing out on in there. We'll be coming back for that room, not much point doing it now. Actually, I think it's locked if we try going into it now. But yeah, my thought on that one was, hey, wait a minute, if Cecil and Kane have elemental weapons to take care of them, we can take care of that. Oh, not quite enough. I think they actually have 666 HP, because of course. They're okay, but a bit slow, Slur says, yeah. Did not age well at the time, good for action RPGs. Biggest mechanic which harms it is the attack charge bar. How does that work? You have to charge up before you can actually, hit enemies? John biased, though, because he had friends to play the 2-player mode with and rotate. Yeah, that goes a long way toward making it doable. There are some games that Ben and I have played just by either taking turns or tofu. Oh, you know what? I just realized I had a good chance to show off something here. First of all, let's wait so I can go back around. And I'm going to have Rosa peep and see what they're actually weak to. But if they are weak to ice, I can show off something I usually completely forget because it goes back to the thing of where magic items don't scale with the user's stats. Okay, that's a 100 and weak to ice. Yeah, unfortunately, with Kane's the base damage on the stats is not going to be high enough to actually kill them all. Or it might have been. Would have been close. No real need to worry about it, though, since Rydia still has a fair bit of MP and can just do that. Yeah, there are a lot of games that are just so much fun with two players that nearly as good if you're doing it yourself. So the weapon's better at flurries, kind of slow attack charging, menu-driven summoning casting. Good art and music, though. Combat is serviceable, and judicious use of Mode 7. That's the real thing we judge Super Nintendo games on. I was going to say, it's like, you remember back in the days that companies would rely on hardware gimmicks to sell their consoles? Oh, wait. Oh yeah, Slur is repping Terranigma on SNES, and that's one of the things where I've wanted to play, but the ship kind of sailed on it, and I never did actually get around to it. Yeah, I've heard some really good things about that one. Let's see, who's the boss of Babil? But regardless, we'll just use a 10 to get some MP back. Real Life Legend of Gaia, though, had its faults. Emulated Terra Enigma, no idea what was going on, did not get far. Poor John. There are some games from the NES era that I kind of feel similarly on. Oh, the Soul Blazer trilogy. Yeah, I did play Soul Blazer. Yeah. Yeah, with Soul Blazer we got kind of early because, well, early relatively speaking. We didn't get a SNES until like oh gosh, 95. So it was definitely a little bit late, and yeah, that was back when when the game and movie rental places still exist. Quintet was the Ease people. Speaking of Slur, I saw you streaming on Beam with Ark of Nephishtim or whatever it's called, and I just didn't have time to actually check it. But I will be, because I'm definitely curious definitely want to try out Beam. Illusion of Gaia is 2 and Terra Enigma is 3. Gotcha. And was Terra Enigma the one that wasn't translated, or am I thinking of a different series? I know Seiken Densetsu 3 was kind of infamously never brought over, and was still really popular here anyway. All right, Kane, jump on the camera. Big bounce. And yep. No big threat there. Oh, whoa, okay. Never mind. I've been wrong before. That was it. It didn't come out here, but it was translated for the EU or for PAL, right? 3 has its own flaws as well, but real good. Probably better than Secret of Mana overall, right? Yeah, I've read an LP of 3. That was a while back. And that one had that kind of interesting gimmick where you had, 6 characters and you pick 3. So you had, the multiple protagonist thing, right? This is Luge. Okay. Let's make sure we are good to go. I think we are more or less. They completely changed how he works in the DS version, so may have some bad habits to unlearn. But 9 characters, right, that was it. I think Rubicante doesn't even notice that the that the party is like just watching the scene here. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. But likewise, thanks for being here. He's the worst streamer. Aw. That's one of the things about new streaming services. Like I've skimmed Beam a couple times. What part of this is an espionage, tactical espionage operation did you ladies not get? I do love how our heroes immediately go to trolling Luge because it's like what's this freaking nerd gonna do to our D&D team? Huh? Wait a minute. Let's see. How does this? So I think if you do nothing, he eventually attacks Luge, and then he oils him up and stuff like that. I'm just gonna let this play out for a little bit. Yeah, it's okay to hype Slur a little bit. He's been well behaved here lately. Okay, now he's starting to cause some problems, so we'll actually have to fight him. All right. I want to say there's like a different follow-up to the fight depending on which one you kill first. But it's been a long time since I've done this one. Let's see if virus him too. Lately. How about a... Oh, she doesn't have haste yet. Okay. I don't want to berserk either. That would be... Yeah, blink on... Blink is such a good spell. Yeah, the first time I played through the game, I never really bothered with status effects much. And yeah, they can really help out. I think if Luge was a real scientist, he'd have a better, robot. Let's see, it's still not quite enough. How about, yeah, can't go wrong with bio. There we go. The blink animation is seizure-inducing. Yeah, yeah. Definitely do not look directly at Yang while you're in drunko vision. Yeah, and I think if you leave Balnab on his own, then, or Barnabas, I think is is how they translated it. Then he will actually explode on you, which may have been the better result. It's pretty bad. Okay. I forget just how much damage things can do in this game. Okay, he explodes anyway. Oh. But luckily, Yang is a giant wall of HP, so just kind of shrug that off. Marma's a lot better than Balnab. Okay, serious music plays. Here we go. Alright, let's cover Rydia so just get randomly one shot. But yeah, this is completely different than the DS version. It hits you with this kind of zombie gas that reverses, healing and HP on you and stuff like that. Alright, we're definitely going to slow him down. As you can tell, he's another counterattack character. So yeah, so I think Sleep Gas is a... Okay. Sleep Gas, alright. So far, so good. Is it worth attacking with Yang? Might as well. Interesting. So normally laser is really, really bad news, but because he fired at Rydia, who has really high magic resistance, it didn't actually do much to her. Likewise, the emission is pretty painless. Alright, so then with... Let's see, do we need a mass cure? 500? Yeah, might as well. We can always hit the inn again, or the save point again, to rest back up on our way back. Okay, or that'll do it. Well, All right, and that unlocks that big room we passed by earlier. My super cannon. Fortunately, Hyper Beam has a turn to charge up. So, or wait a minute, was it a turn to cool down? Uh-oh. and it's funny. It's like as cheesy as it kind of is, and the follow-up scene and everything, it does help answer the obvious question of, hey, why don't we just hop in the portal and follow Rubicante? It's like, oh wait, we have to go save our bros. You know, if we abandon ship, all the doors are going to get blown up. That doesn't mean we can't take a second to go stop at to rest in our tent first, but yeah, the early '90s JRPG localizations, the Tower of Babil. And you know what? I think having done all this stuff on the way back, I was going to start running away from encounters. It's not like we've got a chicken knife situation to worry about. Actually, those guys are worth it. They're worth a ton of XP, and they are trivial to kill with their ice and charm claw stuff. So, alternate dimension spelling, nothing to do with the Romanji. Yeah, I don't even know why they bothered trying to hide it if they did, because, you know, Tower of Babel, it's a very, very, very obvious reference. Alright, so we have start going back around. And, you know, actually, I don't think I'm going to need to rest at this one, because especially since I'm going to be running away from a lot of these encounters. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and Chicken Knife Situation is a Screamo band. Yep. If any of you guys want to hire me for your band, you know, I have Prowling Magus in the congregation reserved, but I'm totally willing to share a Chicken Knife Situation. I find it interesting that it's always the dudes up first and in the same order, even though I'm pretty sure Rydia is faster than Cecil at least. So it might be something to that really basic turn order determined by party formation. I remember reading the game uses the formation as a tiebreaker, you know, if ATBs are coming up at the same time. Yeah, but if we had come up here earlier, it would have just popped up locked. So let's try a carrot to open the lock. No? Okay. Well, in that case. Oh, right. Well, it's tradition. I don't think we actually need to keep any of this stuff, because I don't think Edge will be using it. But, you know, why not? At least the strength bracelet ring thingy is, I want to say that's a one-time only item. So we'll go ahead and do that. And you know what? I know I'm not going to be equipping Edge with a Poison Claw, for crying out loud. Let's do that one and declutter the inventory a bit. There we go. Goodbye, dwarves. Playtime has ended. Yep, our secondary special cutscene fight is 3 imps, and it's pretty much goes exactly as you'd expect. I do love it when games do that sometimes, because, you know, a modern game will totally turn this into like a secondary boss fight or something, with the health bar popping up and the dramatic music playing, and they'd have some way to shoehorn some major, you know, there's haste, some major, you know, threat into it. But nope, it's a bunch of mooks manning the guns, and then you kill them. Oh, what? Okay, now everybody, explain to me as best we can how what Yang does would actually stop the problem. Also, easy to miss with the text boxes there, but it's important to know. Well, not important. It's only important for characterization. But I think it's neat to note that it's Rydia is the first person to protest on somebody trying to sacrifice themselves. And there she is again. So I'm guessing what we're supposed to assume is there's like some buildup of energy, and Yang kind of like throws himself, onto it, or otherwise like maybe blocks the. Yeah, maybe I guess maybe stands in the cannon to block it or something. Go ahead and heal up and everything, and take a moment to kind of enjoy the sad music, because it'll of course go away as soon as we get into a fight. Yang jumped on the grenade, man. But what grenade? It was a bunch of artillery they had pointing out of windows at the dwarven tanks. Oh, it goes off at the next floor anyway. Well, drat. I really like. Yeah, it's like I like the idea of Yang being so selfless as to do that. And then it's like, but how did he do it? Nice, okay. But we know Kane is going to take care of this one by himself. Alright, I need to start running away again on the fights that aren't just hit 2 buttons and collect XP. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Alright. So yeah, then we're gonna hit the next save point over here, and I don't think I'm gonna need to heal up for that one either. Strike first. Not worth it on the Chimeras though. You remember from when we tried to get that treasure chest and that ill-fated surprise attack where the guy just nuked us with Blaze over and over again. This is a chicken knife situation. And another reason too to kind of speed things along is that we have a lot more coming up after this dungeon, so don't want to. Okay, seriously, 2 surprise attacks in a row. I guess it's the same encounter too, so I'm guessing they're just chasing us. Put his finger in the barrel like the old Looney Tunes cartoons if I realized it wasn't going to work. This is where I wish we had some fan artists in the thread, or in the stream. Oops. Save. Yeah, my thought here by putting Kane in the back is that there's going to be more fire directed at, so more shots are going to be directed at him with one party member down. So might as well have him in the back and taking less damage and doing full damage because the Dwarven Axe is a thrown weapon and he can always jump too if something needs to die in one turn. And needless to say, there is you might be also thinking, it's like, hey Wayne, why don't you just cast Exit and get out of here? It's another dungeon where that is not an option, unfortunately. Let's see if he can take care of one. Nah, you know what? Gotten kind of lucky with the Flame Dogs not actually using, because they've got Blaze too, and I want to say their version is even stronger. Let's see if I can just make it rain. 30 MP a pop. I'm wondering if that's actually worth it. There's 2 Blazaras worth. Maybe. You know what? With one fewer enemy, this might be a good time to verify if one Blazara would do it. So, nice 2 cast. And we can have Kane double up on the guy in the back too. Man, Rose is not really bringing much to this party with those ice heroes. Okay. Oh, ouch. Huh. Well, it still worked, but that could have been bad. Oh well. It is what it is. And you know what? We saw the MP. Let's do one more Shiva. Actually, I've got enough for 2 more if we need to. Yeah, it's so good at getting Rydia back to deal with these kinds of fights. Frayne didn't really have a good answer to it, but now it's just like you hit the button and make it go away. Rydia all day, every day until she until she dies. Yeah, for a second I was thinking that John was making a reference to, you know, her dying like everybody else, but I think we get her for the entire rest of the game. But then it points out, oh yeah, Rydia has the HP of a tissue paper. It was an ice play. Thank you, Zane. Ice. All rise for the Golbez theme. You guys are so cool.